Old school mass gain, it's my mantra. It's something you constantly hear me talk about. It's how I design all my programs and ebooks, and it's exactly how I guide all my clients looking to build more muscle. But it's something I haven't personally worked on for myself in the last few years. I built the majority of my physique using proven old school bodybuilding training methods. But in the last 3 years or so, I haven't really focused on gaining much more muscle size. And I've just been maintaining a body weight of roughly 190 to 195 pounds. Focusing on refining my physique at that body weight. And I've been happy with where my physique is at, but in order to make real changes to your body, you must go through phases where your body weight is pushed up through high calorie surpluses, hard periodized training, and good old fashioned hard work. And my personal goal for the rest of this year is to reach my heaviest body weight of surpassing 205 pounds and reaching a new body weight of 210 or even 215 pounds, but with a leaner body composition than I had previously. And in this video today, I'm gonna break down the exact way I plan on doing that. With the exact plan, you'll see exactly how I set my goals and monitor my progress and all the X's and O's in between. So let's get to the video. Alright guys, quick clarification as we get into this video. I weighed in this morning at 190 pounds on the dot. My end goal weight is around 210 pounds. So a goal weight gain of 20 pounds total. Will that be all muscle? Obviously not. In fact, a good amount of it will be water, glycogen storage, and of course, some body fat. And just due to the fact that my calories have been restricted for a long period of time, I anticipate a good 5 pounds of weight gain within the first few weeks from excess water retention and glycogen storage. And the one thing that people always get wrong in bodybuilding is this is not a bad thing. Water and glycogen, that's actually considered lean mass. No, it's not muscle mass, but it is lean mass. Anything that's not considered body fat mass is lean mass. And water weight and glycogen stores, they're not the enemy of bodybuilding that people think they are. And they'll actually aid in your approach, making you look bigger. And as a result, a higher percentage of lean mass is gained. And as a result of this higher lean mass gain, body fat percentage is actually lower. Think about that for a second before you worry too much about water or glycogen. So with around 5 pounds of lean mass gain right out of the gate, and pushing my body weight up a total of 20 pounds or so, I obviously expect to gain some body fat. It's part of the process, and let's just assume that I do everything right and I keep this bulk as clean as possible. I estimate that I'll gain approximately 5 pounds of body fat with this total 20 pounds of weight gained. So now that leaves me with approximately 10 more pounds of muscle tissue to be gained. Can that really be expected this late in my training career? After all, I've been training for close to 20 years now. And we all know that past the newbie stages, 5 pounds of muscle tissue gained is considered extremely good progress. So how am I planning on adding 10? There are a few things to consider here. First, I've been working around a few lower body aches and pains and some small injuries for a long period of time now. It's caused me to lay off from hard training for my legs and lower back. Luckily, recently, I've been able to get back to moderate leg training and have been hitting my quads, hamstrings, and lower back. There's definitely been some atrophy in the whole posterior chain and lower body due to not being able to train them optimally. Now that muscle mass that was lost from not training, I definitely expect to gain that back quickly. So some of those 10 pounds of muscle that I do plan on gaining will be regained muscle mass from muscle memory, which again, let's estimate it at about 5 more pounds. Now, that leaves me with just 5 pounds of new muscle tissue that I plan on gaining over the next year. In my opinion, that's totally reasonable, especially with the large increase in food that I'm planning on taking in. I'm personally at a place right now where staying extremely lean is not really necessary. And adding in much more calories to my diet will definitely help aid my body in pushing up to a new body weight and new muscle mass. So now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into exactly what the plan is going to look like. First, let's start with my favorite aspect of bodybuilding, the training. So there are a few basic old school mass gain training principles I constantly talk about. Heavy progressive training, higher volume training, higher frequency training, and of course, recovery from training. For 90% of the population out there, a basic 4 or 5 day mass gain plan will accomplish this extremely well. But again, as you become more advanced, and in my case, I've been training for almost 20 years, you need to customize your training and you need to make it optimal based on your goals and your own unique situation. And for me, with my goals and my lifestyle, I'm planning on going with a 3 on, 1 off routine. That has me training each body part once every 4 days. Now, the way I'm organizing my training and my split is going to be based on my own individual needs, body composition, and goals. For my goals right now, for my physique, I want to add as much muscle mass to my torso and lower body, and just focus on maintaining my arms and other small muscle groups. So naturally, the chest, the back, and the legs are a huge focus of this program. And the most efficient way for me to train these muscle groups is to have one day dedicated to each of these body parts, so I can really hammer the muscle while fresh. For me, that's a very basic push, pull, legs, off and repeat split. And then I can work on my arms and other small muscle group around these workouts. Again, just to maintain them. Now, a more advanced technique that I am using that'll allow more variation into this training routine is having 2 cycles of each workout. So there's a push A and a push B, a pull A, a pull B, and a lower body A and a lower body B. You've heard me talk about quality of work before, and if I were to try to cram every exercise I need for back into one training session, I might be doing 8 total exercises in that one workout. If I was training hard, exercise 6, 7, or 8, they'd probably all suffer. So instead, to keep the quality of work high, I'll be training 4 of them in one workout and 4 in the other. And roughly, that's the same thing for each body part in this setup. And without going into too much detail, a basic summary is push workout A will be focusing mostly on horizontal pressing. Push workout B will be on mostly vertical and incline pressing. Pull workout A will be mostly on horizontal rowing movements for back thickness. And pull workout B will be on vertical pulling movements for lat width. Leg workout A will be more quad dominant or squat dominant, and leg workout B will be more hip hinge movements or hamstring dominant. And again, isolation work and body part specific training will all be fit in throughout those 3 days of training. Now, to the important stuff, the sets, the reps, and the intensity. Now, because I have a good strength base, I'm not gonna get so much out of lifting extremely heavy with this training program. And to get the most out of my training, I'm gonna focus more on the volume and the intensity of exercise rather than the weight so much. So almost all sets in the gym will be performed somewhere between 10 and 15 reps, with a small exception going as low as 8 reps or as high as 20. All sets are gonna be taken approximately 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. And generally, I'll never intentionally train to absolute failure, except for maybe the last week before a deload phase. And this is specifically to allow volume to be the main driver of hypertrophy. And to directly drive more hypertrophy into this training program, each training block, I'll progressively add volume, more to the body parts that need more work and less to the body parts that need more maintenance. And with this mass gain training plan, I'm programming in 4 training blocks, each one with higher volume than the previous, before I ultimately scale back and bring my training back to maintenance. Body parts will be hit with roughly 10 to 20 sets per week, but with specific body parts, like the back for example, going as high as 25 or even 30 for a short period of time. Now, this mass gain training plan wouldn't be complete without laying the foundation of nutrition. After all, the nutrition is really the main thing that's gonna change for me, as the training program that I will be following is very similar to what I've been doing previously, but has more volume. And the reason for that increase in training volume is I'll have much more food to facilitate longer training sessions and higher recovery demands. At my maintenance phase, I was consuming 250 grams of protein, 320 grams of carbs, and 60 grams of fat. To start things off, get the weight gain going and the glycogen stores topped off, I'm gonna be going with 400 grams of carbs. I'll be keeping protein and fat where they are, and based on my weekly weigh-ins, carbs will be the main thing that'll adjust as I become progressively heavier. My plan is to bring them as high as 500 grams before I have to tap into other macronutrients. And when that happens, the next step will be to increase my fat intake. I prefer to get most of the increase in my calories from carbohydrates as opposed to fats. Despite what you hear online and what people constantly argue, protein and carbs are the 2 most important macronutrients for bodybuilding. Fats do provide solid hormone production, and if they're taken too low, can definitely have a negative impact. But once the minimum requirement is met, you're not really getting much more additional benefits from fat besides excessive calories. And in addition, high fat intake can definitely cause digestive issues for many people. They could also make getting in a large amount of calories more difficult. And one thing not many people talk about is fat intake could definitely lead to more fat gain opposed to protein or carbohydrate intake. But at a certain point in a bulk, fats do need to be leveraged because they're the highest calorie dense macronutrient. So as my carbs top off, I'll then bring in the big guns, which is a higher fat intake. I anticipate at the highest point of the bulk, the macronutrient intake will be as follows. Protein, 250 to 300 grams daily. Carbohydrates, 500 grams to 600 grams daily. And fat intake, 100 grams to 150 grams daily. That's around 4,000 to 5,000 calories daily. And to be completely honest, I don't think I'll necessarily need to go as high as 5,000 until the tail end of the bulk. And this might be something I just need to push my body weight over the edge. So that's the plan laid out, but as with anything I do, I'm always flexible in the approach, and I'll continuously monitor and make changes as needed. I'll keep track of my weight, my strength in the gym, my performance, and my body composition on a weekly basis. And the goal is laid out, but I might have to adjust if things change. And this is something that I'll have to constantly monitor for myself. But if you guys want to see this, I can definitely incorporate this into my channel, and you guys can see the updated mass gain process in real time. If that's something you guys want to see, comment down below mass gain, and I'll definitely update you guys regularly on the process. But if you guys are here because you're looking to build more muscle using proven old school bodybuilding training methods, I highly recommend you check out my 5-day old school mass gain program down below. And as always, if you guys want to see more of the best original bodybuilding content just like this, make sure to hit subscribe.